Hi, it's been a while. I haven't uploaded in a while, and there have been reasons for it. I'm actually saving up for a computer right now. I have a computer right now, but the storage is low, and it's definitely not trying, but it's definitely showing its age. And I feel like if I'm gonna upgrade one thing, I want the whole upgrade package pretty much. I'm thinking of going for a smaller case. And pretty much all around new specs. So that will take a couple months. I'm giving it like 3 to 4 months. So yeah, it is a long wait. And when I do eventually get that PC, you'll know exactly why I needed the new PC. And will know exactly what new stuff I have in the planning. Like, I have so many ideas that I want to do, but I currently can't because of this PC's limitations. The only thing that's not a limitation inside this PC is the GPU, although I kind of want to get that 3080 whole shebang thing. So yeah, that's the non-serious things out of the way, so that you guys won't be asking questions. But let's dive in, like, what I've been doing in the meantime. And this is something that happened recently. So have been jobless for years, pretty much, because it's not easy to get a job in where I live, because I don't live in a city. I don't have a means of transportation to go to the city easily. And then there's this thing where, you have to have the right diplomas, the right certificates, which, as you all know, I don't have. So, guess what was the only option? Goddamn McDonald's. Which is like 5 minutes away from me, or 10 minutes. So at first I was worried because my job coach said he found some job application for McDonald's. I was like, first of all, my social anxiety is pretty fucking high. So if I had to do stuff for others, like remembering all the things I'd have to like fry and shit and bring to them, I would not work well under that kind of pressure. But turns out I was gonna be like working in their super tiny warehouse where you can only stand with one person. So yeah, that's also like already like a yikes. But I was like, you know what? I want to give this a try, because this is the only job where I could possibly get an additional amount of money for my welfare. Like, I'll keep my welfare, and I'll get added job, like like a bunch of money. Like, not a bunch for like other people, but if I combine it with what I currently have and put that over it, my life will be a lot easier with saving up for stuff, because I have a lot of things I want, which is gonna take me years to save up for, because I have such a small amount of money that I get to keep every month. So I had a first like 2-day test drive on Monday and Wednesday. Those went right because, I was actually getting help. Because if I had to do all that stuff on my own, I would have messed it up. So pretty much, I then had an appointment at, I think, Thursday that week. And I said, like, okay, so far it's been good. And, I did nothing too tasking, because most of the things were shared between me and my coworker. So that, I felt like that dynamic would work best. But apparently my coworker did mention several times that I was slow. Which I am. There's no doubt about it. That I'm also incredibly weak. So some things he had to carry. And sometimes we try to get something inside the warehouse, which is, as I told you, only big enough to hold really one person. So yeah, that's sometimes messed up. And I feel like, since I have severe anxiety disorder or whatever, I've never been tested for it, but I know myself pretty much. I felt like every time there was gonna be like something that would be messed up, that it would be my fault. And in most cases, it is my fault because I'm not as fast as they are. And some things, they come with time. There's a limit to how much I can improve, if I want to be very honest with you all. So that first week, no problem. But then I had to, after those 2 days, I had to make for that first day appointment, I had to take not a full contract, not even a half contract, but I think a quarter contract, or even less than that. Basically a 2-month contract of okay, I gotta work here for 2 months to really show if I'm good at this and if I can eventually get everything right. But since I haven't worked in ages, and besides, I have PDD NOS, I have ADD, I have fine motoric problems, and over time, all those little things that I normally wouldn't think about pretty much always gets in the way in a lot of the McDonald's warehouse tasks. I'll have to tie that. I can't even tie my shoelaces. How the fuck am I supposed to tie anything? I have to carry something that's pretty much 50% of my weight. Pretty much I can't even do that because I'm incredibly weak, physically and mentally. And every time people would kind of talk to me about that shit, and eventually you're like, I want to do so much, but I'm so limited. And every time someone told me, even before I went to McDonald's, there were always people who said and they meant it in the greatest of ways, but I never really liked hearing it from people. And that is that, there's a limit to what you can do to him. And I always felt like, can't you just treat me normally? But now I see what they mean. There is a limitation to what I can do. There's a lot I can't do, and a lot of tiny bits that matter a lot in the grand scheme of things. And, normally I was like, yeah, but I can improve over time, because sometimes I had a work position that would work well for me. And those would always, 90% of the time, they'd go great. And then the 10% of the time, they'd be like, oh shit, this one time it's different. And it's messing with your confidence, really. I didn't even have that much confidence. But, yeah, so since I always had help of someone, I at least had the good feeling of okay, even if I mess this up, I have someone here to fix my mistakes and to tell me to do this and this better. And even though I won't gradually get better, I did have in the back of my head, I did have it you do eventually have to do this alone. But I thought maybe that's months away, because my coworker always reminded me oh eventually you'll have to replace me, or but I'll be here for a couple months still. But what he didn't tell me is that on Fridays and Saturdays he's not here, and I work on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So first few 2 weeks, the he didn't come, but like a replacement coworker would come. And there's this one guy that last week said like, "Oh, it's my last day today." So today, so tomorrow, not tomorrow, but like next week Saturday, you might be alone. And I was like, no, probably not. But I did tell him like, okay, yeah, I'll probably have to do it alone. But in the back of my mind, I thought like, okay, yeah, they're definitely gonna let me do this alone. They're gonna have co-workers help me. But today was the day. And it literally happened, I think an hour ago. A little more than an hour ago. An hour and 30 minutes ago. I went there, and guess what? No one was there to help me. Luckily, the car didn't arrive. However, now I panicked because even though I asked for help, no one was there to help. And they told me I had to do it alone today. And I don't know, my social anxiety kicked up to like 200%. I actually had to go to the bathroom and I vomited. And I haven't vomited in years. That's how scared I was of it. It's something I had trouble dealing with. And of course, since I vomited and I was sick, and I legit got like stomach ache and everything. I thought maybe I ate something wrong, but that wasn't it. Because now I feel fine. It was just that situation made me so scared and full of anxiety that I legit just got sick in a moment. And I just had to say, I'm gonna go home. I don't feel so great. But they were like, oh, we're gonna get you cola and maybe you can work later. Even though there was like a board on the wall saying, if you have any of these symptoms, you're not allowed to work. I had 2 of them. I got dizzy and shit, everything at the same time. So I took the cola. I was in the kitchen room, which was pretty much like you can sit with 2 people there. It's so tiny. I already have like pretty much. I hate small spaces. I wouldn't really go as far as say I'm claustrophobic, but it's close to that, I guess. But yeah, I really got sick, and then so now I'm home, and on the way back, I was like, "Damn, is there really no fucking hope for me? Like, is there? If this is how I treat or how I behave, and how I get sick of just the thought of doing stuff alone, in terms of like." Things that matter a lot, because if it's like something that everyone else does alone, then it's like, okay, it doesn't matter. But with this, if you mess up, you mess it up for everyone and the customers. And being a warehouse worker in like such a tiny McDonald's is a very important space. On one end, I'm like, if I do stay here, I can get more money. However, I'll get lost, I'll get sick, I won't do things correctly. There are a lot of limitations that hold me back. So I currently have an appointment standing for next week, Thursday. And pretty much that means that I'll be talking to like the person that got me to that work, to my work coach, and the manager of McDonald's. So pretty much, yeah, and that's pretty much where I am currently, and I'm thinking of quitting, because I gave it a fair shot, I believe. I gave it like almost 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks, if you count the test test 2 days. But yeah, I'm really bummed. I'm pretty bummed that I wasn't able to do as well as I thought I could, or as well as I'd hoped I could do. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been going through lately. There's a lot of things I have planned for my YouTube channel, but they're all months away, so yeah. Well, anyways, I hope you got something out of this video and know a little bit more about my whereabouts, or rather, like what I'm doing, what I did, and how I'm doing. Right now, I'm feeling very disappointed in myself, and there's nothing really I can say much more about that.